My name is Beth Orrell, and I am a deacon in full connection serving in this conference. I currently serve at Mount Tabor United Methodist Church, where I've been serving for 15 years in Christian Education Ministries, currently serving as the Minister of Spiritual Formation. I was primarily motivated to participate in the Called and Gifted to Lead workshop as a result of just some of my own personal searching and wanting to grow in my ministry and wanting to do something new and different in my ministry. Talking to another colleague in ministry, another senior pastor that had participated in one of the previous events and suggested that this might be a great opportunity to explore new or different ways that I could engage in ministry. And she suggested that I participate and was able to be able to go on one of the next events that came up on the calendar. The environment for the Called and Gifted to Lead workshop was a very comfortable one, where I felt like we came in and I really didn't know anybody when I got there. There were about 30 persons there. It was a variety of lay persons and clergy, people who were just starting in ministry and people who had been in ministry for a long time, people coming from a variety of different backgrounds that were laity. And that was kind of energizing to me. At the same time, it was very low-key. It didn't feel pressured. It was very engaging in conversation. The activities were very comfortable, as some were a little more creative and some were storytelling in nature. And that was kind of fun way to go about telling some things that were very personal, but yet were an exciting way to engage one another in telling some stories about who we are and how we came to be and how God had been acting in and through our lives as we worked together in ministry. I think the storytelling aspect was the most engaging way for me to be in interaction with the small groups as we worked at the tables together with the other participants. It was fun and exciting to hear other people talk about their ministries and their calls as God had been working in their lives, some of the successes that they had had in their ministries, and to be able to share mine and to be able to articulate once again how God had called and moved in my life. Sometimes we get so busy in our ministries that we forget to reclaim that call and to see how God had been moving all along in our ministries, and go back and recapture that first call that re-energized me, and to go back and reclaim that. In the workshop, I was able to go back and rediscover my strengths in one way through the strengths survey that we had been able to take online, and to discover what those were. Sometimes we see some of the more obvious strengths, but the strengths that they were able to draw out of me were ones that perhaps I hadn't recognized in myself. And to be able to see those working and how I was living those out without having identified them in my ministry and in my work day by day. So that was kind of fun to be able to see those and to be able to discover how I was really living those out. No, actually they were very evident once I started to really discover my gifts. The ones that I saw there were ones that were, wow, I really hadn't realized how much I had been living that out. It was very much my day-to-day living, but I hadn't realized that was either I hadn't identified it as a strength, or I had not seen it being lived out so evidently in my life. I also was very surprised by the 360 evaluations that were being done by members of the congregation that evaluated how I functioned in my work. And sometimes we evaluate ourselves a little more harshly than those around us. And some things I didn't see as strengths in my work, my congregation members identified very highly as gifts in me, or skills that I functioned very well at that perhaps I marked myself at a lower rate. And so that was fun to see that they really had a greater sense of value in some of the things I was doing than I had been able to identify in my work. And that was very uplifting and encouraging to me, and are things that I'll take forward and build upon in my ministry. I probably had I don't know if it was a more unusual or maybe not unusual response to this workshop event. As I moved through the process, I was able to identify that there was a calling being made in my life to change my ministry setting. And so I will be leaving the local church ministry, and I'll be beginning a new ministry and a new business in consulting and coaching and Christian education coming up this summer. And so my development plan will be to help me as I move from a local church environment into a business. And so that is going to be requiring some things out of me that are not skills that I learned in seminary or graduate school. There was no class in business. And so these are things that are not in my skill set. And so I wanted to develop my skills in business and in accounting and setting up a platform for my business and how to market myself and the skills and the plans that I have going forward. So I will be working with a coach, one that I had been assigned to on the weekend and had been working with there. That's one of her gifts. And so I'll be continuing that relationship with her as I move forward. And so that will be my plan, is to continue to develop those skills that will help me into that new business. One of the benefits of being a part of this workshop event is that there is scholarship money available as you complete that event that is available to you, and I'll be able to use that scholarship money that has been approved for me for those coaching events that will help to defray some of that expense as I move forward, to be able to do the coaching, to help me develop those skills and to be able to live that out as I go forward. And when I come to those points where I'm needing a little bit more refinement, or to help encourage me as I move forward in that professional direction as a business owner. I would encourage persons, even if they're laity or clergy alike, it was an exciting adventure for me personally, but also for others that I was on that event with, is to watch them take a look at who they were and how God had been moving in their life, the excitement that they came away with, the way that they were able to maybe look at things in their lives and the way they were about in ministry, to see that in a new and different way and to embrace that. Some had not had that opportunity before, and to see that excitement as they explored who God was wanting them to be and how God was moving in them and what God wanted them to take as next steps forward, to be more faithful in living out God's call in their life. And that's something all of us can do each and every day as we move forward and become more faithful disciples.